Hello world. Today is a very important day. It is my 34th birthday and the last day I am on this earth. Let us take a step back into time and see what went wrong and what got me into this predicament. My nickname in the papers was the SS Killer, Skittles Slaughter, for I killed, tasted, and created every color of the rainbow out of the image of my mothers. This world wasn't always bad for me. I had two loving mothers whose names will not be in this confession. One of which was like the devil herself. The other felt more like a troubled angel. Mom 1, the devil, she had green eyes and blonde hair. Mom 2, on the other hand, had black hair most of the time and brown eyes. Since birth, Mom 1 had been a living hell. The moment I came out of Mom 2, Mom 1 said, "He looks like Elvis and a werewolf. I hate how ugly he is." It was from this moment on that ruined every relationship I had or ever would have. Not all of my childhood was a complete loss, though, for when I was mentally and physically abused, Mom 2 would step in, mostly in hiding, so Mom 1 didn't see. She would give me candy since I wasn't allowed any sugar growing up. Out of all the candy Mom 2 would bring me, Skittles and white chocolate were my favorites. White chocolate is what she would call me because my first crush was a woman of color, but not one of the rainbow. Eventually, Mom 1 died. Her cancer finally caught up with her, and she was no more. You would think at this moment I would be filled with joy. The bitch is finally gone, but, however, I was filled with sorrow. Because with her death, so went my chance of making the green-eyed devil love me. Shortly after her death, Mom 2 changed, for the worst. She started by dyeing her hair red. With her new hairstyle, she became much more like Mom 1. I thought of the song Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I see a red door and I want to paint it black, because I wanted my old mom back. The Skittles and my nickname stopped too. I was no longer white chocolate. I was just the middle child. This is what started my hunt for the colors of the rainbow. I wanted to find someone who looked like both of my mothers. Someone to love me with the love I so craved as a child. The first color of the rainbow was Original Red. Her name will not be written here either, so let's call her Lady in Red. Lady in Red was tall, about 5'9". She had black hair and bright green eyes. She seemed so perfect, and she had a son and was Russian. With her, I thought of the song Rasputin. She believed he was a holy healer who would heal her son. But she wasn't the person I thought she was because, once my money stopped being spent, she saw the weirdo and creep I was underneath, trying to hide. She blocked me and shortly after found a new man. I couldn't handle rejection again. No, not this time. So I found out where she lived and I was just going to kill her and move on, but her son got in the way, so I had to take him out as well. I simply just snapped the child's neck so he wouldn't feel too much pain or have to watch his mother die. Lady in Red, on the other hand, I let her suffer. I stabbed her in the belly as she bled out, tied to the bed. I went to the mental hospital to cover up my tracks and spent Thanksgiving locked up. Next came the color orange, the new red. She was short, much like Mom 1, and had green eyes just like her too. She came over on Christmas Day, and it felt like Santa was looking out for me this year, even though I wasn't a good boy. Much like the first, she wasn't the one. She loved someone else in prison. I don't know what the fuck I did wrong, so it was time to end her as well. I took her for a walk to my favorite place to go as a child to relax. I told her to look at the river flowing, and as her heart seemed to melt, I put my neighbor's tomahawk through the back of her skull, thus ending Orange. Yellow didn't last very long. She was the first to have brown eyes and blonde hair. She was so sweet. We even planned on going on a camping trip together that never happened. So one night, when I knew she was in a tent, I put on my panda suit and butchered her like a fish for wasting my time. Once again, the colors of the rainbow broke my heart. Didn't bother covering up my tracks this time, but I should have because green was a cop. She was short, much like Mom 1, and had green eyes, blonde hair with black strips. She seemed perfect, but she was coming in close in the case, and I had to let her go. She didn't have a kid, but she did, however, have a Russian cat, which was close enough for me. I really liked this one. She was older and gave me the love Mom 1 never could. However, I had to choose between being caught or feeling love, so I killed her as well. First, I killed the cat, drowning it and then skinning it. I took the bones to sell my soul to the devil to get one wish of $50,000 and a wife with green eyes that only loves me. Then, I hung the cop from a tree and made it look like she killed herself. The next color of the rainbow was blue. She was special, and when she came over, I felt like each day was our first day. Day 1, I got our awkward hug out of the way and fell in love with her. She too had cancer, but fought it and won. She was tall, 5'9", green eyes, half black, half blonde hair. She might be my golden ticket, but I had to see the rest of the colors through first. The last color was purple. I found her at a haunted house, but she wasn't the first person I noticed. The first was a woman who won't be named, but she had blue eyes and black hair, much like my imaginary friend growing up. She was in a bad mood since the place was far behind and not set up the way it should be, so me and my new friend tried setting up the best we could. I didn't want to disappoint my imaginary friend that had helped me through so much over the years. That's when I saw Purple. Long black dress with even longer legs. She had purple hair and her birthday was a few days away from mine. I don't know what it was that made me sick, but I went home and never came back. I knew I couldn't date Purple since she too loved someone else, so I hoped to make her a friend. But I never had a real friend before, so I bought her gifts. White chocolate, a toy for her son, and Crayola rainbow candies to dye her mouth the colors of the rainbow. I also bought her a black rose with purple on it to let her know what color she was and with hopes that we can at least be friends, and it worked. We're all mad here. The rainbow is over and I found my pot of gold in the color blue. She was perfect after all the hell I had been through. I found the perfect love and soon-to-be wife. I had a green-eyed angel to give me the love I so longed for. So we packed up and moved out. The song that came on the radio as we drove away was Long Road to Ruin by the Foo Fighters. I, however, was caught at the border going to Mexico. Seems like my biggest crime wasn't wanting to taste the rainbow. My biggest crime was wanting to love and finding it and not knowing how to love. Because if your mother never loved you, you can't love yourself, and if you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else? After all, Mother does know best. Would you care to taste the colors of the rainbow?